Hello friends, let us now learn some important points about nasopharyngeal carcinoma. So nasopharyngeal carcinoma is most commonly seen in southern states of China, Taiwan and Indonesia. It is most commonly seen in southern states of Taiwan, China and Indonesia. Nasopharyngeal carcinoma is the most common tumor of head and neck. It causes secondaries with occult primary. The most common site is fossa of Rosenmuller, that too in the lateral wall of nasopharynx. In the lateral wall of nasopharynx, in the fossa of Rosenmuller is the most common site. If you see the most common type of nasopharyngeal carcinoma, squamous cell carcinoma is the most common type. WHO classification of nasopharyngeal carcinoma. We have type 1. In type 1 there is keratinizing squamous cell carcinoma. This is Epstein-Barr virus negative and here you will see 10% survival. Then we have type 2 WHO classification where you see presence of non-keratinizing carcinoma, which is Epstein-Barr virus positive and it is associated with 50% survival. We have two types of these carcinomas, one without lymphoid stroma association and second with which is associated with lymphoid stroma. Then we have type 3 WHO classification, which is undifferentiated carcinoma. Here in undifferentiated carcinoma you see Epstein-Barr virus positive and it is associated with 50% survival. It has two types. So in the first type it is associated without lymphoid stroma. In the second type it is associated with lymphoid stroma. Then etiology. Etiology, it is these nasopharyngeal carcinoma are mainly genetic, that is it is most commonly seen in southern China. The virus which is associated with this nasopharyngeal carcinoma is Epstein-Barr virus is associated with it. This Epstein-Barr virus is actually identified in tumor epithelial cells. This is identified in tumor epithelial cells of most undifferentiated and non-keratinizing squamous cell carcinoma. This is identified in tumor epithelial cells of most undifferentiated and non-keratinizing squamous cell carcinoma. Then IgA against the viral capsid antigen of Epstein-Barr virus is the serological marker for screening. The serological marker for screening is IgA against viral capsid antigen for Epstein-Barr virus. Then we have environmental factors which include burning of incense or wood, smoking of tobacco and opium, air pollution, nitrosamines from dry salted fish, along with vitamin C deficient diet. So if you see the clinical features, it is most commonly seen in males with bimodal peak of distribution, that is first peak is seen in 15 to 25 years of age, whereas the second peak is seen in 55 to 65 years of age. This is most commonly seen in this is most commonly associated with upper neck swelling because of cervical lymphadenopathy, as nasopharynx is supplied richly by the lymphatics. Nasopharyngeal carcinoma is most commonly unilateral followed by bilateral, the most common lymph node being jugulodigastric lymph node and the earliest lymph node being retropharyngeal lymph node. And this earliest lymph node, which is retropharyngeal lymph node, this retropharyngeal lymph node is also called as node of Rovere. Then if you see the spread of tumor, the spread of nasopharyngeal carcinoma It actually spreads from nose and orbit. So this causes unilateral nasal obstruction. It causes epistaxis, rhinolalia clausa. Then it also causes eustachian tube. It also spreads to the eustachian tube, thus causing serous or suppurative otitis media. It also causes unilateral deafness and unilateral trismus. Unilateral deafness and unilateral trismus. Then this spreads to parapharyngeal space, and thus this causes 9th, 10th and 11th and 12th cranial nerve palsy. It also causes Horner's syndrome and also trismus. Then we have foramen lacerum. It spreads to foramen lacerum and foramen ovale, and the nerves which are passing through them, like 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th nerves which are adjacent to these foramens, get involved, causing ophthalmic symptoms. Then the nasopharyngeal carcinoma also spreads to the retropharyngeal lymph nodes. It spreads to the retropharyngeal lymph nodes and causes neck pain and stiffness. It causes neck pain and stiffness. Then this nasopharyngeal carcinoma also spreads to cross nodes. It spreads to cross nodes, that is in jugular foramen syndrome, and it causes 9th, 10th and 11th nerve palsy. It also causes distant metastasis, especially if it involves it causes secondaries in bones most commonly. Sometimes it even spreads to lung and liver. So these are the major routes of spread of nasopharyngeal carcinoma. Now if you see among all these cranial nerve palsies, the most common cranial nerve palsy is 5th more than 6th. Then the most common cranial nerves, multiple cranial nerves involved, most common multiple cranial nerves involved are 9th and 10th. In the nasopharyngeal carcinoma, one important thing is about the Trotter's triad. Trotter's triad or sinus of Morgagni syndrome. In Trotter's triad or sinus of Morgagni syndrome, there is 3 things. One, there will be conductive deafness. Then there is ipsilateral temporoparietal neuralgia, conductive deafness, ipsilateral temporoparietal neuralgia. This is mainly because of the cranial nerve 5th, and there can be palatal paralysis is seen mainly because of the cranial nerve 9th. Because of the cranial nerve 9th, it causes palatal paralysis. So this is Trotter's triad or sinus of Morgagni syndrome. Now, neck is the most common site of clinically occult primary cancer of tonsillar fossa, tongue base, piriform sinus and nasopharynx. Among all these primary cancers, neck is the most common site of presentation. Now, if you see the diagnosis, now first, examination of postnasal space can be done by nasopharyngeal mirror, or it can be done by nasopharyngoscope. Examination of postnasal space is done by nasopharyngeal mirror or nasopharyngoscope. Biopsy is first necessary. Biopsy is the first necessary investigation for nasopharyngeal carcinoma. Biopsy is the first investigation for nasopharyngeal carcinoma. Then if you see the imaging modality, MRI with gadolinium and fat suppression is the imaging modality. Then if we see the treatment, in the treatment, irradiation is the treatment of choice. In this, external beam radiotherapy is important, and we also have intensity modulated radiotherapy. This intensity modulated radiotherapy is preferred as it allows higher dose to be delivered. Now in this irradiation we have 2 stages. that is stage 1 and stage 2. In stage 1 and stage 2, radiotherapy is used alone, whereas in stage 3 and stage 4, we use chemoradiation. Then we have radical neck dissection. Radical neck dissection is done for persistent nodes. Then if you see the prognosis, this nasopharyngeal carcinoma shows poor prognosis. Then complications of nasopharyngeal carcinoma include the most common complication is xerostomia of radiotherapy. That is, dry mouth due to radiotherapy is the most common complication. Other complications like mucositis, altered taste sensation, dental caries are seen, radiation, otitis media with effusion, and rhinosinusitis are also the other complications. Radionecrosis of skull base will also occur. Then there can be radiation myelitis, and there is also encephalomyelitic change are the rest of the complications. Other complication like optic atrophy can also occur. Then we have Lermite's sign. So if you see, these Lermite's sign are uncommon. These occur due to radiation to cervical spinal cord. Lermite sign occurs due to the radiation of cervical spinal cord. Here the patient feels lightening like electrical sensation, which is spreading into both the arms, then down the dorsal spine and into both the legs on the neck region. So from arms it spreads to dorsal spine, and from there it spreads to legs. In both the legs, it spreads to both the legs. So this is how the electrical sensation passes, and that is called as Lermite's sign. Then we have to learn about rhabdomyosarcoma. Rhabdomyosarcoma is the most common malignant tumor of nasopharynx in the children. This rhabdomyosarcoma is the most common site in head and neck. The most common site of rhabdomyosarcoma in head and neck is orbit. Most common site of rhabdomyosarcoma in head and neck is orbit. Next tumor is nasopharyngeal chordoma. This nasopharyngeal chordoma originates from the notochord. Then after that, the nasopharyngeal chordoma mainly involves the N5 to N9. Thus it can cause hypophyny. Actually it can spread to hypopharynx. Then it is a benign hypopharyngeal lesion, and if you see the histological features, this nasopharyngeal carcinoma shows physalliferous cells histologically. So this is about the nasopharyngeal carcinoma, and then nasopharyngeal chordoma, rhabdomyosarcoma. Thank you for watching.